Robert, thank you for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Robert was on the air with us this morning, and we've been talking about the wildfires burning in our higher elevations. Let's go to the video and the pictures that you have for us. We're talking about the lodge at the North Rim that has burned, and we were chatting. What was your initial reaction when you first heard that the lodge had burned, a place that you'd been many times?
Yeah, it was so weird. I got a call at 4 a.m. from a colleague up there, and I was in shock. Went back to sleep and then woke up and thought I must have been having some kind of a weird dream or something, because it was so unlikely that, we see these fires burn and we start to lament the loss of the forest and the landscape. And it's so rare, especially in Arizona, to lose structures. It happens a lot in California, but not so much in Arizona. But for any place to lose sort of one of these iconic lodges in a national park is extremely rare.
I'm Googling it, and you probably know it. When was it built?
Well, the first one, and we saw one of the images roll by, the first Grand Canyon Lodge was built in the late 1920s.
Yeah, 28.
In 1928, and it burned down as a result of a kitchen fire.
1932.
Yeah, look at you, 1932. And so they quickly rebuilt that. I think the one that we lost the other day, I think, opened up in 1936, and that's what you're looking at right now on this screen. And so the history of the place is old. I mean, 1936, it was coming up on its centennial. It was just a special place, and it's a tragic loss.
And I think for a lot of people, when they think of the Grand Canyon, they think of the two lodges that sit on the rims. One at the South Rim, one at the North Rim. The rim to rim hike is a big deal. A lot of people do it, and a lot of memories were made here.
Yeah, and you mentioned the rim to rim. A lot of people go south to north because the North Rim was so special. It was a place you'd want to hang out for a few days if you had the time. The psychology is very different from one rim to the other. The South Rim gets about 80 or 90% of the visitors, and people go there
closer to the valley.
Yeah, it's easier to get to. People go there, they check the box, they take their selfie, get back on the bus or get in the car and go on to the next place. At the North Rim, you had to work harder to get there. It's a much longer drive. The average stay is a lot longer, but people are just more relaxed up there. And for me, it was just a chance to disconnect. As I mentioned on air this morning, the cell service was lousy up there, and you loved that. You embraced that.
You didn't need the cell service with that view,
you didn't need it. And
right?
so it was a place to go to get away.
Yeah, they started rebuilding, as you mentioned, in 36, and then it reopened in 37.
Yeah.
And then in 87, it was designated a National Historic Landmark.
Yeah, and and it was so cool. And Syleste was talking about the El Tovar on the South Rim, which is set back from the rim. You can't actually see
the rim, right?
Yeah, you're back there, and the designer did that on purpose to force people to get off the couch, so to speak, and go out and look at the rim. Whereas the Grand Canyon Lodge, the one we just lost, literally you could sit in the dining room and look into the Grand Canyon, or sit out on the deck there and look at, one of the 7 natural wonders.
It is one of those places that I think they need to rebuild once this investigation and everything gets, because it really is kind of a jewel. For the high country.
And a reason, like you said, people have to work to get up to that, had to work to get up to that lodge. And it kind of gives you a little bit of hope and reason. This is a question for both of you. So that fire, the original one you talked about, destroyed the lodge, the main lodge, several cabins, 1932. But they didn't start the rebuilding efforts until 1936.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to, obviously the investigation, but what do you think the timeline is going to be? Because it can't be easy to build up there.
Yeah, and it's a little complicated because the lodges are run by a concessionaire. This was, I think, Aramark ran this hotel, whereas Xanterra runs the facilities on the South Rim. So you've got this third party involved with it, and they make huge investments because they make a lot of money. But I think it's going to take a lot of time. Parks are historically underfunded. I mean, the deficit for infrastructure rebuilding and maintenance and stuff. So, it's not like I was thinking about Notre Dame. They brought
Which
in.
was built so quickly.
They did it so quickly.
I thought.
But when you think about the money that poured into that because it was Notre Dame,
right?
This is a lodge in a Grand Canyon or in a national park,
right?
And I don't think the pockets are going to be as deep.
Well, and that's a comment that we got from Inc. saying if we fund national park resources more and more, it could be rebuilt in a year.
Well, and of course, I think we're going to have to table the topic because more to come, in the days ahead. Robert, thank you so much for your time, my friend. I so appreciate it.